is Jamie, and that's obviously a pretty unisex name. So as you can imagine, I've been mistaken for the opposite sex before, which has led to a number of shitty and personally embarrassing stories, including when I was a kid, I gave my allowance, which was $5, to the local library, because the library was important to me, and as my mom would have said, his friends are books. Which is kind of like code for saying, people throw things at him when he walks home from school. But so, the library was very touched. They knew how much $5 would be to a little kid like me. And they bought a book with it, and they set up a ceremony where they would invite the local newspaper to come take pictures of us. Me in the book, I guess. And I was very excited, but there was one problem. Again, my name is Jamie, so the book they got, I don't remember exactly because this was a long time ago, but it was something like A Pony of Her Own, The Legend of the Curious Pony, by Cassandra Benton, copyright 1991. It's in a blue spine. And that's not the kind of book that a boy wants to read. That's not the kind of book that anybody who has other boys throwing things at them wants to read, for sure. They still took my picture, holding the book. And, it's like about a mile away from me. And I got a look at my face like you would have if your grandmother gave you her own socks for Christmas. Where I'm thankful. I'm smiling, I'm thankful, but I'm trying to convey to all the cool people in the room that I have no connection to this outfit. It still happens that I get mistaken for a woman periodically, and when it's my name, that's cool. I mean, I can kind of understand, but it happens on the phone all the time at work. And that's more of like a direct hit to my masculinity. And I don't know if it's because I'm very nice on the phone, because I'm in customer service, so I'm very friendly, and people might think that's a feminine trait. Sexist I'm talking about, or if it's that I talk in a high voice, because along with the nice behavior is a lot of like, good morning, like, how are you looking? Hope you had a nice Labor Day. Or if it's that I very often tell people I'm a woman. But regardless, it's a real blow to my ego, and it's compounded because I don't really look like a super macho dude, elfin, I guess. And for a lot of guys, the solution is easy: grow a beard. Grow a big, bushy, like lumberjack-style beard, and no one will mistake you for anything other than a caveman. But I can't really do that. It's patchy and red and blonde, which is kind of like a death sentence for a beard. And I'm not really fit for public consumption unless I'm like clean-shaven. And I can imagine at work, this has to go through customer service, but that means I have to talk to that guy. Yeah, mangy rat man. We call him that because he kind of looks like a mangy rat. Like, his face would normally have more of that disgusting fur, but a lot of it's fallen out, probably due to repulsive disease. I think I've always heard him called Chia burn victim. I'm also not that into manly stuff, like aftershave, or fishing, or having a penis. Or guns. And guns are super macho, and I get how they can be cool. Because it's like a remote control that can turn other people off. I'm like not quite 5'8" and about as physically imposing as your aunt. So a point-and-click solution for bullies is like appealing to me. But there are downsides too, including that bad people can have them. It's why we can't have President Lincoln anymore. And also, there's a fair amount of user error, and I wouldn't trust most Americans with an electric toothbrush, let alone a murder wand. And the story is personal here. My brother was very nearly ended by hanging out in proximity to a killing device. And he and his friend Scott went out for football their freshman year of high school, and which basically meant that Scott's dad would drop them off at the high school every day of the summer, and then they would walk, like escape, to Burger King and then to go home to play Final Fantasy VII. And Scott's house was an interesting place because his parents were very afraid that like roving raiders were going to come through and take their their vinyl record collection and their twin cockapoos. So the house was like an armory. They were very into home defense. And Scott thought, in the absence of adult supervision and common sense, I'm going to play a prank on my friend using my dad's shotgun. And It's a happy story, I can tell it here. Scott is not a cold-blooded murderer, though, and he doesn't want to kill my brother unless it's absolutely necessary. So he finds the safety on his dad's gun and moves it from one position to a different one, which in this case was off. But his heart was in the right place, and as he walked into the living room to point his father's deadly shotgun in my brother's face and pull the trigger, which was his prank, he says, "Hey, Mickey!" My brother's like, "What?" Because he's watching Cloud, And before he can really finish the joke, as it were, the shotgun goes off. There's a bright white flash and a shotgun-type sound. The room fills with smoke. Scott is dazed, He looks up from the carnage and his eyes meet my brother's. My brother says, "Holy shit, dude. They're gonna know we didn't go to football." So they're smart kids and they snap into action. They move the TV and they cut out a shotgun blast-sized hole in the carpet, and they move it over the hole, but then it's too light because there's no track pattern, so no one's been walking on it. They go out to the yard and get dirt, and then they rub that into the spot, but then that's too dark. It's obviously been tampered with. By the time they were done transporting dirt into the living room, a 30-square-foot section was 2 Pantone shades darker. It went from sandalwood to russet. Satisfied with their job, my brother goes home thinking, with a little luck, I might get off scot-free for almost getting myself killed. Through no business of my own. And Scott's mom comes home and walks through the living room and misses their handiwork, which is very impressive. But then when she went down to do the laundry, she noticed that the ceiling had blown in. Mysteriously. And when confronted with this, Scott said, you don't even check your carpet cleaning solution. It probably ate through the carpet and the floor and the floorboards and might have scattered birdshot in laundry. In the end, it was a lot of wasted effort. And it was because Scott's mom wasn't even mad. She even agreed not to tell my mom. It turned out they'd been doing a lot of drills as a family, and she was just glad to know that Scott was not afraid to pull the trigger.